And good evening, everybody. This is Michael Filighera. I am with logicalsignals.com and tradershelpingtraders.com. And this is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 for Thursday, August 12th, 2021. Just to kind of do a quick recap, we remain in the process of tracking and tracing out a minor fifth wave. And that minor fifth wave started right here off of the 4365 low from August 3rd. And thus far, we've gotten within the minute third wave. So within minor five, we have 5 waves of minute degree, 1, 2, and wave 3 has been extending its way all the way up to where I think it's going to reach its pinnacle back up here at this resistance at 44.6465. Now that we have broken significantly above the 44.42 area. That happened today. And as I suspected, if it could break above it, it just opened the door for it to run up to this next level at 44.6465. So I'm going to continue to look for that to complete this minute third wave. And it is the fifth wave itself is extending, the third wave extended. And so there's no reason to doubt that we can't just inch out a little bit more, considering that we're finishing our after hour session. So before Globex starts in an hour, we're finishing right there at that high. So I'm going to suspect that we're going to push a little bit more and then likely start that correction. It should come down into here. That's going to be a minute 4. Then that puts us at, once that's complete, that puts us into a minute fifth wave advance to complete the minor 5, which in turn will complete the intermediate 5, the primary 5, and the cycle 5. So we're completing some very long-term advancing or bull market markers. So it's really, we continue to stare right down that barrel of a major long-term correction beginning. And there's a myriad of reasons for it. And I'm not going to try to pick which one is going to be it, but I do believe it will be a shock to the market. There's something that is going to come from the unexpected area of whatever that will produce the decline to begin. The top will be put in place and the correction will begin. The inflation figures did basically nothing. We had CPI yesterday, we had PPI today, and even the unemployment, the new unemployment numbers, they were very acceptable by the market. So those fundamental, quote unquote, indicators are not having any effect on the market continuing to push higher. And regardless of which stocks are contributing to it or whatever, we got to go by with what the index is doing. And that basically is telling us that the bull market is still in force, but we are quickly now moving up to where this should all complete. Now, the upper resistance areas remain at 44.65, 44.90, I'm going to call it, 45.05, 45.25, and then 45.64. So we got an additional 100. If it gets here, it can double that and put on another 100 and go to 45.64. And basically that is going to be where essentially the minor fifth wave would be equal in length to the minor third wave. And that pushes us all the way out to here. And so I'm feeling that that's probably where we're going to get, but I'm going to actually tighten that up just a little bit. I don't think it actually goes quite that high. So let me remove that, go back and put a new one in, because I just noticed that it really was not put in correctly. If we're measuring the wave 5, we go from wave 3, and I included the entire move. So wave 3 was to here. And wave 4 was here. So it pulls it a little bit, and it's down by about 40 points. So 45.27.25 is where minor wave 5 would be equal in length to minor wave 3. And it can go beyond. It can be the longest wave because right now minor 1 is the shortest wave, and then minor 3, and so minor 5. If it goes beyond 4527, it's not a problem. It'll still be a minor 5th wave, but it could extend similar to what minor 3, or excuse me, subminute 3 has done. So subminute 5 could very well extend even again. But with the double extension within minute 3, I would basically consider that it likely won't subdivide beyond just creating its own 5-wave structure. And because the minute 3rd has subdivided twice, in wave 3 and then again in wave 5 of it. So for tomorrow, I'm looking for possibly we're going to get up to that 64 area, 44, 64, 65 to complete the minute 2. Then we're going to get a minute 4 correction. I would suspect that initially it should come back down towards 44.30 or a little bit below. I don't believe it'll drop below the 200 because I have minute 1s at 17 and the 200 is sitting just above it, but it certainly can come down and equal, but it can't break. It's a 4th wave, it can't break wave 1. So we have some parameters put out there because we are now moving up to new all-time high, new all-time high. Every time it ticks above 45, 56, 25, that's an all-time new high. And if it does it again, it's just going to create an all-time new highs as it moves on up. But I'm looking for correction and then another 5th wave. And that's the one I'm suspecting will step its way up above 4,500. So that still remains a very strong potential and has a very high probability of succeeding. And that actually, in the larger intermediate 5th wave, that would only be that wave 5 would be 0.236 of intermediate wave 3. So those larger numbers come up much higher. Can the market do that? Yes. That 5th wave could extend again. Just as the 3rd did, the 5th can extend as well. And that could push us higher. Not looking for that right now. We'll take it each day as it comes and we'll track it. And then we'll have better ideas of where this should go. Now, upside, again, I think initially for tomorrow, being it's Friday, it's an expiration, that it could be slow. And today did not start out with great volume, but I think the volume picked up as stronger buyers moved in. But again, this is moving into uncharted waters. We've never been here before, and we may never come back. That's not true. I do believe we will be back into these levels and exceed these levels once we get these larger corrective phases done. We still have an intensive long-term rally way out there in the future to happen. So this is not the end. This is just a larger pullback, but a pullback nonetheless. So I think that once we continue to push higher, the buyers are going to run into trouble finding sellers who are willing to give it up here. Unless we've got something to hedge it against, et cetera, it's going to get thin, which just amplifies the move itself. The orders have to get filled and they'll just move until they can. And so we may see it much easier to start moving through these resistance zones as we push to the ultimate high to finish the entire sequence. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Our next update will be on Sunday.